Yeah, New York had developed me a third eye. You understand?
Yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
and I had my best friend got me a job at a McDonald's restaurant
Mm-hmm.
in 1977, 78,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the turn of my life because a gentleman by the name of John Cornbliff at that time owned some Pierre Cardin stock,
Really?
sold his stock and bought some McDonald's restaurants.
Wow.
But his thing was, I'm going to work on these five boroughs,
Right.
Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens,
Right,
Manhattan,
right, right,
and
right.
give some of these inner city kids an option to come up in the business. And I
Gotcha.
was one of them.
Gotcha.
And I was 20 years old, one of the youngest, one of the youngest general managers in McDonald's up in New York at that time. You know, you GM and you 20 and you 19, yeah, that's right out of high school.
Huge
Running a
accomplishment.
$1.8 million
Right,
restaurant.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, Parkside Avenue, Parkside and Ocean Avenue in Brooklyn, across from
Gotcha.
Prospect Park. I mean, the initiation was a body in the park every year. That
Exactly,
lets you know it was summer.
exactly.
You
I
understand?
got you, I
You
got you.
understand? But this guy, he started purchasing, excuse me, restaurants in the inner city and creating an opportunity for young African Americans, Spanish. You know, they had China people in Chinatown.
Wow.
It was a very diverse company. The president is John Cornbliff. The vice president was Rich Krasinski. When the supervisor was Joe LaBianca. You know,
Gotcha.
Albano, and we just covered all ethnics. We covered them all. So
Yeah.
he put us in places like I was as a shift manager at 19 years old. I was in the Waldorf Astoria at a book signing, a book presentation for Kenneth Blanchard, One Minute Manager. Changed my life at the
Gotcha.
Waldorf Astoria. I'm sitting in there, this young man. You know, it was amazing, and it changed my life. You did. I went to classes with them, and they gave me something that I can live off the rest of my entire life.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the fast food industry has always been discounted in our community as the low on the totem pole. I started off working at a fast food restaurant myself, and it developed me in ways that I would use in my adulthood. How would you say that that experience developed you to who you are right
Oh, I mean, I realized that I had an opportunity
now? Mm-hmm.
to work where work in a business that I wanted to have and be paid to go to school.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Paid to go to school.
Exactly.
Come on. I mean, I took classes with McDonald's that covered P&Ls and equipment and refrigeration. We didn't just go learn about flipping some hamburgers. We learned
Right.
about people skills, marketing.
That was it. People
You understand?
skills. Yes.
I mean, it was. I felt, and then someone told me, Mike, just stay on the other side of the hiring line. And what do you mean by that? No, be the one interviewing.
Right.
I found myself interviewing people making 36. I'm making 36,000 a year in 1980.
Gotcha.
Interviewing guys who went to school for 4 years, applying for a $17,000 job.
Wow.
They didn't want to wait for 4 years, did all this study. Meanwhile, I'm covering Pacific classes pertaining to something that I want to do while I'm working, being paid.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it
yeah,
just, it was amazing to me,
yeah.
you know. So um, it got me prepared for my next steps when I got to Atlanta, Georgia. The third eye, being in the streets, you
Yeah.
know, surviving and then still being a businessman. I was that young kid that had his hat backwards, listening to hip hop around the block, and then I go to work and turn around and say, "Welcome to McDonald's."
There you go. There you go.
And they get off, I turn it back around and
There you
catch me a
go.
cab. You
Back
know,
in the mix.
back in the mix.
So back then, did you envision this space?
No,
You did not.
not it.
Gotcha.
Not till I got to Atlanta and met a gentleman by the name of LeVan Hawkins.
Okay.
You understand? LeVan Hawkins, he was the first African American that I ever worked for.
Really?
Yeah. Ever since then, I never looked back. But, you know, because I was from McDonald's and Checkers was selling the quarter pounder, French fries, and a milkshake with no dining room and two double drive-throughs and a double drive-through. It was right up my alley, and he was from Cabrini Green, but he took me from the sandwich board to the executive board.
I like that.
You understand?
I like that.
Yeah, he took me from the sandwich board to the executive board. He allowed me to dream with him. He spoke black and proud.
Wow.
He said, Mike, no, man, you know, these guys out here wearing diamond necklaces and everything, and these kids is asking them where they got it from. We got to get suited and booted and them ask them how we doing it, you know? And I believed in that. And he allowed me to, I think I was running 42 stores for him at one time, from being a general manager of one. And Van Hawkins introduced me to a concept that I was able to franchise. And first of all, he's taught me something about God and his math, how one person he can take and do so many good things with.
Right.
You understand? Someone can point out something wrong about an individual, 50 things, 100 things. God get 1,000,000 things done with that person.
Right. Right.
You know, the families that we put together, and I met my wife and my best friend in the world, Rob Hunter, and my beautiful wife, following the Van Hawkins.
Wow.
And why would I change something like that?
I was just about to
You
say,
understand?
no regrets.
No regrets.
None at all.
None at
Man,
all.
that's beautiful.
None
That's
at all.
beautiful.
None at all. And in Atlanta, was allowing. And I realized when you come from New York and you come to Atlanta, we was moving a little faster.
Right. Right.
You know, it's moving a little faster. And in my travels, going to Detroit to do business with the Van Hawkins, that's when I ran in and I met my wife. You understand?
Gotcha.
And she was working for DTE up there. Her name is Tess, her name Mahoney. But, you know, my wife really secured my dream.
Okay.
You understand? I had no kids. I was 42 years old. And she gave me my first children out the gate, you know. And how I knew she was the one that we had back-to-back children, a girl and then a boy. I named my daughter Michael Glover, and named my son Grayson Michael Glover.
Wow.
You know, and my youngest daughter is Nyla. But when we had them, it was a Christmas day, just the first two, Michael and Grayson. I had all these presents underneath the tree, and we're sitting there, and they don't even know what the gifts are. One's 1 month old, the other's 9 months old. You know what I'm saying? One's
Right,
2, one's 9
right.
months old. And I got all these gifts, and it was my first time. And then my wife bought me a gift about the size of this table.
Okay.
And one of the things I regretted, this present represented that. So she said, pull it out. So I pulled it out, and she had a picture painted of my mother. And my mother never got to see my children.
Wow.
So I lost it.
I
You
can
understand?
imagine the tears were flowing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can imagine the tears were flowing.
She said, well,
Imagine
just
it.
go ahead and pull it on out. And when I pulled it out, the rest of the way, it was a picture of my mother holding my 2 children. She had a portrait done.
Oh,
Man, that's when I said,
broke you down?
she knew where my heart was.
Yeah.
And when God gives you a gift, right, you have to appreciate and take care.
As much as possible.
You
As
understand?
much as possible.
So I said, I really lost it. And I really, you know, said to myself, I'm going to try my best to be the best father and husband that I can be, which meant doing the business that I was doing, do the best that I can to support.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know?
Wow.
And that was something that said, you know what, let me do what I do here, and thank God for allowing me the chance to do so, and take care of this woman that's taking care of my children. You know what I mean? And my father wasn't with this family; he was with another family. You understand? And so I just wanted to outdo that.
Wow. That is so
I
powerful.
wanted to outdo that. I wanted to break my family's spell about no one having a business and just trying to give a legacy going. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is what this is about. When you have favor, you do favor. You learn that.
Right,
Play
right.
it forward. And I've understood that my success always depended on how successful I made others. And my wife has been so supportive of me throughout the years. I'm rich at home, not in the bank right now.
Whoa.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean,
And you know,
I'm a millionaire at home.
yes, sir. Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? It's this bank account I'm trying to get up. Dig?
You'll never imagine that wealth at home,
Yeah.
money.
That is it.
Yeah, yeah,
That is it.
yeah.
And that's it. I was introduced to Chicago Nancy's Pizza. That's how
Gotcha. Yeah.
I met Leanne and yourself.
Right,
But
right.
through Chicago Nancy's Pizza being my first franchise,
Gotcha.
a gentleman by
gotcha.
the name of Darrell Anderson gave me my first $100,000 to invest in my business. And I lived with him 6 months in his house, and he put me up, and then my wife rescued me from that, so to speak. And I was able to take this franchise from Chicago. The niche was there was a deep dish pizza that I can deliver. And first of all, Atlanta wasn't known for pizza.
Right.
You understand? I'm from New York. I know pizza. In New York,
Exactly.
people try to do pizza here a lot of times. I think it's the hard water because New York pizza's about the crust.
Okay.
You understand? And they just can't get that right.
Okay.
You gotta go to New York to get New York
And see,
pizza.
I never put those two together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I went to Chicago recently, and man, the pizza was totally different
You
from
can
what I
get
thought.
you can get good pizza on any corner in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, but Levan sent me to work with these guys for a little while he had some Pizza Huts, and I
Okay.
fell in love with them. I said, man, I'll bring this to Atlanta, Georgia, and kill them.
Right.
You understand?
Yes,
And
sir.
I brought them here. We opened a little 1,400 square foot place for business, and they loved it.
Wonderful.
You know, I could have sold that pizza with a hubcap on the wall. I didn't make it, but I sold it.
It
You
sold
dig?
itself. Yeah.
You know, I'm an
yeah.
operator, so I
Yeah.
was able to do that. And then I was able to move it around the corner. I went through 2 recessions. I opened up a second location in Buckhead, but
Okay.
the one downtown was my heart, and sold that
Yeah.
out. And so I went around the corner, opened up next to Krispy Kreme's, then connected the restaurant that was MF Sushi at one time and put the two together.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Put a baby grand piano in
Yes,
there,
sir. Yes, sir.
and
yes,
it
sir.
took off. So
One of the things that really took me with you in your methodology, how you do things, was that your propensity to hire second chances. And when I was told that, man, it was a concept that just blew me away.
yeah,
When we say making an impact, we can say making an impact, but what you were doing was really, really making an impact. When a person comes from that environment and comes into an environment where they can prove themselves and have some worth and purpose, it changes lives. So share with us, what was the driving force that got you to that concept?
well, you're speaking of the women and the men.
Yeah.
I started off helping some brothers, that got in trouble.
Right.
I was getting them in halfway houses and getting them out, and I was good at
Gotcha.
that.
Wow.
Flipping neighborhood. So someone stopped by and said, "Mike, have you ever worked with women before?" I said, "They lock women up too?" And she said, "Yeah, they sure do." I said, "Wow." I said, "What's the deal?" She said, "Well, we're thinking about letting them out. We have an hour and a half time to travel to if you like them, and an hour and a half to get back." So I said, "Okay, let me interview some of them." She set up the interview for about 16 women. Came out, and they were all with black pants and white blouses. I'll never forget, black and white, majority white. I interviewed each one of them, and I tell you, I haven't cried so much that day.
Wow.
I
can
mean, I'm
imagine.
talking to women that have been locked up, ain't seen their children. I'm talking about nurses and doctors and lawyers and people with degrees in marketing, you name it, but made a mistake.
Right.
Be it the
Right.
drugs, be it domestic or be it something, they made a mistake. And I walked out hiring all 15, 16. I don't know what I was going to do with them, but I just got them out. So now y'all freeze today.
Yeah.
And
Man.
that just kept working for me. Next thing you know, I was over 800 or 1,000 women transitioned back to society. And it flipped on me because my business grew. I had people who normally never would have worked for me. I had diversity in my business from black and white. I had more white people women working with me than Publix did.
Wow.
Yeah, but the whole thing was they were so appreciative of it. You
Right.
know, I had 15 servers. I had maybe 10 or 12 in the back, but I had 45 employees. 85% my staff always came from the female prison. I didn't hire anywhere else for 17 years. And my business grew from $1 million to $2 million, and my service and everything was, I just loved it. But you know, you got a woman that hadn't seen her kids, 4 kids hadn't seen them in 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, and here you are cutting right into the time. I would take 6 days out there, 7-day sentence. I started opening up Thanksgiving, Christmas, just to get them out.
Right.
And we started cooking,
Right.
we started laying it out for them because they were used to eating from vending machines all those years.
Wow.
So we laid out the ham, the turkey on those holidays. They threw down for me, and my heart was out there. You understand?
You are doing something that our government can't do. You realize that?
They can do it, but they won't do it. Well, I was a gentleman by the name of Ashley Bell, director of the Small Business Association.
Right.
Had been at my restaurant, asked to do a fundraiser. During the fundraiser, he talked to one of the girls. They told him a story about what's going on.
Yeah.
I never shared it because I didn't want customers feeling any different because they were real people. So no matter where they came from, you know. But he said, you know, Mike, someone wants to hear your story. I said, okay, what do you want me to do? He said, well, I may want you to come out to Washington. You be able to do that? I said, yeah. I said, yeah, y'all footing the bill? He said, we got it. Okay. So he calls me up about 2 months later and says, Mike, they want to vet you. I said, who? She said, people in Washington. You're going to come out and speak to some people. I'll tell you later, but just go through the flow. I said, I got home, I asked my wife, I said, okay, what is vet? She said, when they go back there and see your friends and relatives from Harlem that you've been hanging out with.
Right.
I said, well, there go that trip. But then 30, 40 days later, they sent me an email
Gotcha.
with some information, and I called them up and I said, you know, I think I passed the test. He said, yeah, I heard, Mike, so we want you to come on down and, you know, I got on the plane. I had my 2 friends. One of the friends had introduced me to McDonald's back in the day.
Really?
My best friend, Teddy Mims.
Wow.
Yeah, one of my best friends, and Doug Stroud, you know. And I get down there that night. Of course, I call in. We sitting in the hotel. Michael, what you doing? I said, man, I'm here. They got me here in Washington talking to somebody tomorrow. And I told them about the girls and everything. And they was like, oh, man, really? Yeah, so next morning, I realized I'm meeting with half the cabinet and Vice President Pence.
Wow.
So the whole thing was about a deregulatory initiative, taking the red tape out of getting an SBA loan so that you can employ people quicker.
Yeah.
You dig?
Yeah.
And they wanted to use or find out what I was doing to use it as an incentive. At that time, Kim Kardashian got 1 person.
Yeah.
I'm over 1,000. I'm looking at them like.
Exactly.
So we go,
Doing?
5 security spots later, I'm sitting in the Roosevelt room with Vice President Pence, man. And I'm not sitting on his side. He has all the cameras behind him. We were in there 27 minutes, man, talking. Hadn't got to me yet, but then Trump comes in the room.
Real.
And Trump is sitting 2 chairs down from me. And we're facing Pence and them, and the camera's behind them. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, I'm in here with the two most powerful people in the world at the moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Although 15 minutes after I was ready to go, but however, I don't have my fame. I'm like, but that was a moment for me because,
I can imagine.
and when they asked me what brought me to Washington, and I told them, Ashley Bell there, thought y'all might want to hear what I was able to do with the prison system. What was that? Well, we transitioned over 1,000 women back to society over 17 years out of my pizzeria. They stood up and clapped. And I said to myself, one lady was just tearing up, and I'm looking at her, and I said, I'm not about to cry in this White House. I ain't doing it.
Ain't
And
gonna
then
happen.
Trump came in, put his hand on my shoulder, and went, shook my hand, sat down, took over the meeting. And I sat there proudly. In the back of my mind, I also told him that I was from Harlem, 164th Street, and I got here without throwing one football, hitting no baseball, or shooting basketball.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And that was just a moment for me. And I always represent where I come from because it's a reminder of where you're at and how you got there, and how God can look out for someone like myself, rich like me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a fantastic, encouraging story, man.
Yeah.
I'm saying to our government, I'm saying to everybody that's looking at this interview and gonna see it in this magazine, this is pride of America. This is pride of America. When you take the steps to put yourself back a little bit to make sure somebody else succeeds, that is the energy that we need in society, not just America. And you have it right here in this gentleman. You have it right here in this gentleman. Man, I'm in awe, I gotta be honest. So now with Nancy's Pizza, building on that franchise, what were some of the most memorable things that you can call up about the process, getting the restaurant, getting the staff, bringing it to a place where you felt comfortable with being there? Tell us about that journey.
Okay, well, it taught me how to be a businessman. I said I was an operator by trade. I had to pay bills now,
Okay.
taxes,
Yeah.
payroll taxes, and it taught me about the other part of the business. You understand? It was like the college of the food industry for me. You know what I mean? I was going to get my degree.
Yeah.
In the 19 years, 2 terms as a franchise through 2 recessions, and it put me in a mental place where I said, I gotta do this on my own. I no longer need the support of a franchise. When you get ahead of the franchise that you're working for mentally, because it was a small franchise, they were good at the food, but they sucked at operations.
Gotcha.
And so I was carrying them on my back, really, and not being, there's a difference, it's a thin line between being cocky and confident.
Yes.
You understand? But they were scared of Atlanta, Georgia. They were scared of Atlanta, Georgia. I remember talking to the president, showing him where I wanted to put it at him. He had a problem with the community, he had a problem with this. And I'm like, look, money is green. I come from a diverse background. You understand?
Exactly.
So proving him wrong, growing past that. I was ready to sell a franchise, 214, 215, to go into breakfast then.
Really?
I was trying to get out of that business way back then. I felt like, how Prince and some athletes feel like, they're trying to become a free agent.
Right.
I've learned that I can do this on my own now, and the breakfast business is what I always wanted to do, really, I did, because, after having children, I wanted to be home by 5 o'clock and get my money in the morning.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And then here it is.
And that actually was one of the questions. How did you transition? But it was already in you. There was no transition needed. It was already in you.
I sold the business in 2019. I just knew that was it. I was stepping into the breakfast. But then came the pandemic.
Yeah.
you know.
They
So
hurt a lot of people.
yeah, it hurt a lot of people. But um, everybody can put their spin on what's happening, but a lot of unfortunate situations happen to be someone else's fortunate.
Yeah.
When they say something about ashes, another person's ashes is another person's
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah.
I don't know how that goes, but I felt that if whoever you were was able to survive it, there's a silver lining coming out of it. Something's happening every 10, 15 years. This is one of them. And
I noticed that.
yeah, and which leads to the fact that I had the opportunity. I consulted for 2.5 years in the restaurant industry, but I ran into this young lady by the name of Kim Dart Realty, and I was working with a gentleman by the name of C. Parks.
Okay.
C. Parks is a white guy, in the real estate industry, had faith in what I was trying to do, find a way into the breakfast. So he spent a couple of years working with me, and then, this pandemic threw us off. So I ran into Kim Dart, Kim Dart Realty, and she said, Mike, I'm going to help you find some place. And I told her that I still was trying to find a financial backing too. And I introduced her to someone, but their interest was in the food business as well. I didn't know that. Breakfast. And that's Joe and Tony, my partners today.
Gotcha.
Two of them.
Gotcha.
And they was thinking about this too at the same time. So she said, y'all will make excellent partners together. So I met with them, and things went very well at the meeting, and they allowed me to have the operations, and they support me the other way around. Joe is in the business 40-something years, and Tony a while too, But they knew about my passion, and we made good partners in this game. So this is what we've done, and that's what got me here to this first location of 3 that we're doing, 3 to 4 that we're doing.
Okay.
So this one's been here about 90 days.
Yeah. I was excited when I heard that you
The
was
welcoming
doing
has
it.
been incredible.
Yeah.
I've never been hanging out in the Viners here in Marietta, but they are so appreciative of us doing business up here.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
The
know?
atmosphere, when I first came, the atmosphere, just the setting here, it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
The balcony, the patio.
The patio and the lake.
Yeah, and the lake, yeah.
And we was missing one thing. Tell you how God worked. We was missing one thing. I walked out this restaurant I was consulting for on Peachtree, and this guy was getting out the car with his wife, and looked familiar. But I said, "You play football?" He said, "No." He says, "I'm a chef." I said, "Really?" So we started talking. I just got the keys to the place not too long ago.
Wow.
And we talked, man, and I said, "Why don't you, one day I'll let you see the place." He said, "I'll come right now after I finish eating." He came on, and I walked him through the place, and, he said he was not getting ready to come to that restaurant that I was working with. He said they decided to, instead of making a left, they made a right.
Okay.
And I said, you know what, I started not to say nothing to you. Instead, I did say something. But you know how I asked God to direct my path, choose my words, order my steps. I get up and I go.
That's so powerful.
This cat said, Mike, with a name called Grits and Eggs, your grits gotta be off the chain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you some grits tomorrow.
Yeah.
Came in my place, wasn't even
Yeah.
open, cooked some grits, and I tasted them and I looked at them, I said, oh my God. I said, well man, I can't afford you, brother, but, and I don't know what to do with this recipe. He says, nah man, I'm gonna work with you. I said, well, I promised to work with you, but 45 days later, he's our partner, Chef Rasul. Yeah, and we've taken it to a whole nother level, me, him, and Tony, and Joe. This business here is like, now I feel like I can do whatever the mind perceives, I can achieve through Christ. So immediately I talked to him and talked to the partners, and we're doing a school, academy, here at the location.
Really?
Yeah, he's a
Oh, you told me.
certified chef. Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
president now of the Black Chef Association, 1,500 chefs,
Really?
and they made this the headquarters. So we're going to do an academy here where we're teaching him and myself, and we're teaching him the preliminary culinary art, supplying the need of the restaurant business here in town. And how strong is that when you doing your thing and you can help the others out there too?
That takes precedence over everything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everything.
I had to. Go
And
ahead.
I wanted to ask, when you encounter those kinds of blessings, how does it make you feel? Like I know you, you can ask God for, this is what I want, Father. Period. What feeling does that give you as a black man now, with all of the disadvantages that we have to endure? How does it feel when you get those blessings like that and you recognize and you realize, man, I just asked for this. I didn't know it was gonna come this quick, or man, this is strong, powerful.
It gave me a sense of purpose.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
and I know he's not in control of none of this. You understand? If God owns the water, the land, and the air, then what do we own? You know, we're given this task in order to provide for others. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and I feel good about it because you know there's other things that I thought why couldn't I, but then look at what I can do, and I don't have no regrets. I'm not selfish. Hey, I get it, you know, and even with that being done, we've met with the first black farmer here. We're
Wow.
gonna try to buy our product as much as we can from some of the black farmers. You know, take it from the grass to the fork,
Wonderful,
you know, and keep it, you know.
wonderful. Right.
You know what I'm
Keep it in
saying?
the house. Yeah.
Keep it in the house as much as we can, but we're serving everybody.
Right.
And then, you know.
That is institution. Man. That is
Yeah.
that is an institute. This is an institute, people. This is what God put us on this earth to be givers.
Yep.
Primarily, before He blesses us in order to for us to give. He makes room for that. When we give, we get more, so much more. That's institutional. That covers everything, literally. So let me get a little personal with you. If you were to see 14, 15-year-old Mike now, what would you, Mike, now tell him? What kind of words of encouragement, or what would you say to him?
That's hard to say because I wouldn't want to change him any way in form or shape. I wouldn't move any bricks. You understand? I'm not gonna lie to you. That question I can't answer because then I wouldn't have the children or the wife I have today if I told him to do something else.
Wonderful.
So I received my blessings, and in this order and form, would go through everything I went through to be here again for my family and my friends. I got some strong friends out there. So God has put so many gifted people in front of me, and such as Leanne yourself. You're a part of this blessing, and you know the mentors in my life, Bill Carter, and you know Arnold Whitmore, and my best friend Rob Hunter. You know these people who have been put in my life, Van Hawkins, and I could go on, and so many of my friends' mothers that they just shared with me. You understand?
Yeah.
You know, and that from 164th Street block, they fathered the block because most of us didn't even have this, but
Yeah.
gentlemen said that at one of the funerals that I went to and said we thought they were being nosy looking out the window when they was fathering the block. You understand? So I changed nothing. I mean, young Mike Glover, I'd watch him. I wouldn't change nothing. I'd make sure I don't get in his way.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
I mean, that's why. I mean, I'm from New York. I'm from Harlem. I ain't changing my swagger
Yes, sir.
for nobody, and I'm gonna walk proud because I'm a child of God right now, and I'm learning how to walk with God and still enjoy myself. I mean, not enjoy myself, but still enjoy it while it's here. You understand? I really appreciate all of this, man. I couldn't wait. I really did. You know what I'm saying? I was
Thank
glad to
you,
hear
man.
from you too after a
Thank you,
while.
thank you. Yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and then you know my.
Do some restructuring myself, but
Yeah, yeah,
this is
yeah.
this is what God told me that I needed to do.
See?
I needed to do this because working before it was wonderful. You know, the paycheck, a steady paycheck. I got comfort,
Yeah.
and when my heart was here, my heart was in this. He kept nagging me.
Mm.
This is where I want you. What are you doing?
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
And I had to answer, man. I could not stay away for too long.
That's that bird, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And,
Yeah.
along my walk, so many spiritual people, you know, I got children out of my marriage, but I got one of the best mother-in-laws in the world. She's so blessed, 92 years old. I can't get enough of her. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine.
You know,
Yeah,
my
man.
sister-in-law, Sandra Brunson, who was my Don, is in my Don, you know, giving me the insight, saying, Mike, no, you need to go back down south. And she told me, wrote me a letter that morning. I got the letter. You probably need to go back down south. And I did it. And, you know, I've had the best nephews and nieces, you know, in my family, man. And I was being a father to them as best I could until I found out I can have children. And my wife blessed me with it. So I owe her so much, but I'm learning to enjoy. I consider my marriage to be the Thursday of the week. We got over hump day, and we headed for the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Oh
did.
man, I love
You
that.
understand what I'm saying?
I love that
Yeah,
analogy, man.
that's what it
I
is.
love that.
It
I
is,
love
man.
that.
And, you know, and I thank you so much for this opportunity, man. And we're going to represent our culture up here. And this concept has so much involved with it. You know, we're able to create a culture where the older people are sitting with the younger and having breakfast in the morning, as opposed to say, Mom, I ain't gonna hanging out there because my honest and me. You got the mothers bringing the children. You got the children bringing the mothers and fathers and all that. See what I'm saying?
I need to be there with that camera.
Yeah, yeah. You can come on in,
I
man.
need
This
to be
morning
there
we
with
had a
that
great
camera,
time
man.
and talking to the customers, man. Getting up. You don't even get up and go to work because you can't wait to see who you're gonna meet that day.
Wow.
I'm coming here worried about the service. We're killing it anyway. We're trying to make. And the sign, I found
man.
that sign that says, "We enter as strangers and we leave as friends."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I try
Saw
to
that
get
when I
in.
came.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
And I get up in the morning looking to come and see who I'm going to meet. You know how small the world is, and always, you know, I got people that are so proud
Oh yeah.
of the fact that we're here, that I come here because I'm supposed to be here to make sure that they're getting answers in the morning.
Yeah.
And my friend and my partners, Tony, Joe, and the chef, you understand, I think we're a great team in this business. We're going to make an impact on Atlanta and set a precedence for the restaurant industry. You know, it's a tough business to be in.
Yeah.
Inflation right now, sure, they raised the pay scale, but they also raised what you buy.
Right.
Yes.
So did we really get anywhere with what you just did?
Yes, sir.
No.
So then you have to offer something a little different.
Right.
Right or wrong? Got to
Yes,
offer
sir.
something a little different.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then I got yeah. You know, I mean,
We gotta check them though, man. They make some crazy moves. But we don't get too deep into the government. That's a whole nother show. But give your audience and our readers your word of inspiration, your word of affirmation, even for yourself. Something that you say to yourself that brings you to a place of peace.
well, at one of the most trying times in this business, I met a gentleman by the name of Eric McLaughlin. Right, two people in my life, Eric McLaughlin and Stan Foster. Stan Foster was illegal, and Eric McLaughlin was the CPA accountant just starting his business.
Okay.
And I was getting burnt out, I was frustrated, you know, my partners, we were arguing in court for this and that, you know.
Gotcha.
And he said, Mike, you know what, man? He said, Mike, just pray about it. And when you get up, just keep talking to God all day. You can pray, but you can have your conversation with God.
Oh man.
he said, just keep talking to God all day, Mike. He hear you.
Yeah, man.
And talk to him, Mike, all day. And I really thank him so much for
That is powerful. Because I do the same thing. You know, the prayer don't stop at the
that.
prayer.
Yeah, man.
Amen don't stop it.
Oh, it don't
Let's
stop,
have a
man.
conversation.
He said, talk to
me
God all
plain.
day. He said,
Yes,
talk
sir.
to him,
Yes,
Mike.
sir. Yes, sir.
And I'll never forget that. Never. His name is Eric McLaughlin, CPA here. I love him as a brother. And Stan Foster, from a legal perspective, having to believe in me.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate lawyer, man, but a brother now. That's talk to God, man, if you believe in him. I get mad when I used to stress out about something, that I was worried about something. You turn around and give it to me anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed because I have to apologize. Do you understand? And then I, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then that becomes that part where you have to learn to have more faith, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I feel like he's teaching me that.
Yes.
So I feel just to continue to talk to God all day. I get inspirations. I share them every morning with people that I get them. Every time I get inspirations of encouragement and all of that, I share it out there.
Today's prayer.
Today's prayer. That's
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes, sir.
I send it out
Trust
every
me,
chance I get.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets me moving, and I send it right out.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Mr. Glover, I tell you, we can't begin to thank you for taking this time with us.
No, I can't begin to thank you.
This is an institution. When you come here, I've labeled him the institution. So that's what we're gonna call him. Mr. Glover has everything in perspective. My view, everything. First, following God. Second, dreaming. Second, following the path that God laid for him. Doesn't get any better. So tell our readers and your audience, where can they reach you? Social media, address here.
Okay. Well, we're located here at 3205 Cumberland Boulevard, here in Marietta. The name of the business is called Grits and Egg Breakfast Kitchen. And you can find us on GE Breakfast, Instagram, Facebook, and also now we're starting to get a lot of hits on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, we went did a little viral thing on TikTok. Somebody came in and blessed us. Thank you to ATL Foods for that shout out on TikTok. We welcome you. We want you to come here and then go someplace else, and then tell us the difference. If it's something that I can improve on, you come tell me, But at the end of the day, I want y'all to know that we're trying our best up here to make you enjoy yourself. Our service don't take more than 3 to 4 tables. I don't care how long it is, but those people that sit in there have to have that experience. Anytime you go past that, you start to interfere. So people can leave from waiting at the door, but we don't allow them to leave from waiting at the table. And we're trying our best to do everything right. So, come say hi to us and, shake some hands and eat some grits and some eggs.
Man. Can y'all feel the humility?
Yeah.
Can y'all feel it, man? This is somebody I follow. This is somebody I follow. I don't care what you say about me. This is somebody that I follow. The example that he set for me, knowing, number one, the formula for bringing these people in that have had or made a mistake in their lives and trusting God that it's gonna work. That's powerful. But we thank you all for taking this time with us. More thanking you.
Thank y'all so much.
Big time.
Absolutely. Thank you. And
Big time.
welcome back.
Big
Welcome
time.
back, my man.
I'm here. You know what? I'm here. All right, brother.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We're signing out for Inform Magazine at Grits and Egg Breakfast Kitchen. Have a good one.